Hi, I'm Dad Plays Games, and let me describe a normal day for a lot of us parents. You wake up at 6 or 7 to a child jumping on you. You make breakfast for them and get yourself ready for work. If you are lucky, you don't have to eat your breakfast on the move. After a long day at work, you get home and are greeted by kids who want to play with you. So you do for about half an hour before putting them in front of a TV so you can make some dinner. Then there's a battle of making them ready for bed, and eventually they are in bed. And now you gotta spend 30 minutes on a good day to finally get them to sleep. Spend an hour cleaning up after the day, and perhaps you can finally sit back and enjoy some relaxing gaming for 30 minutes or maybe an hour. Maybe two if you sacrifice some sleep, right? Sound familiar? Then welcome. You may have found a new home. Depending on the age of your kids, you probably don't want to or can spend money on a new gaming console, and gaming purchases may very well be on a tight budget. Most of us have been there, are, or will be there. So if you're to buy a game, it better be one that suits those needs and lasts you until you can buy your next title on that ever-growing wishlist, right? But what does all of this have to do with Far Cry 6? Well, while I'm still very early in the game, it's already clear to me that for people like us, this game hits every mark. The campaign is reportedly short enough that maybe I'll even be able to see through. Something that I generally don't these days. It's engaging enough to keep me interested, with excellently performed characters and an amazing villain that probably isn't in it very much from what I've heard. Missions are usually completable in about 15 to 30 minutes, it seems, which means I can get one done when gaming opportunity arises, while still feeling significant enough to be engaging. The world here is the real star, being chock full of things to do, beautiful and fun to explore. Dense jungles, tobacco fields, farms, cities, villages, postcard shorelines and more just waiting to be explored. But a shooter isn't anything without good gunplay, and at least to my granted slightly untrained eyes, it feels great. The arsenal of available weaponry is vast and each modifiable in several ways with a fun homemade feel, or resolver as the game calls it. Traversal is equally diverse with anything from tanks to helicopters to horses and parachutes. There's a bit of a stealth mechanic and plenty of soldiers and animals to hunt, loot to loot, and resolver modifications and weapons to craft. Now all of this is just building blocks for what might be the greatest chaos playground I've ever seen in years. Each block is good enough to carry the game, in my opinion, but when joined together, it gives a special feeling. It's the same feeling that reminds me of playing Just Cause 2 and 3. The same kind of enjoyment that makes a movie like The Expendables kinda great. I mean, those films are fine, but by no measure good movies. But they are great for when you just want to wind down by watching people fuck shit up with explosions and action. And Far Cry 6 lets you do just that. Fuck shit up. And it's
fun.
After one of those long days, you don't necessarily want to sit down and engage in a gripping story like The Last of Us 2, or play something with high reflex requirements like Doom, or something more strategic like Stellaris or Humankind. Now all of those games are great, but perhaps fit the life of a parent of young children less well. For those rare occasions where you do have a 4-hour session, I for one love to dive into Europa Universalis 4 and just lose track of time. But that's a rare event these days. Far Cry 6 has so far a pretty good story in my opinion, though I still have a lot left to experience. And it can at times benefit from having Doom-like reflexes and maybe not deliver on the strategy genre, but that's okay. So, if you are a parent who wants a new game that fits your life, I think Far Cry 6 could very well be one of the best options. And in 2022, it will probably be available on sale, so if you don't need a game right now, just wait a bit, it's usually good for the budget anyway. Now, if you have a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, the game is available, but I would recommend looking into the performance of those systems before taking a plunge. On the PS5 and Series S and X or high-end PC, I'm sure it runs as intended. But if you don't have a new console or a good PC like I do, I have neither. Cloud gaming has evolved greatly in the last few years. Most countries and ISPs around the world are increasing stability and speeds and removing data caps. And for game streaming, you honestly don't need insane speeds. A 35 megabit connection should be enough to stream 4K with Google Stadia, for example. I've gamed with flawless experiences on fiber at home, over Wi-Fi at the office, or over LTE in the park. As long as your connection is solid and you don't have a data cap, game streaming is a great alternative to getting a new console or PC. Incidentally, Google Stadia also happen to have one of the best parental controls I've tried. Some services require you to subscribe to them with a monthly fee to use them, but not all of them. You can just try one out. For example, Google Stadia is free and have free-to-play games, so you can just try one out. Or try a game you already own on Geforce Now after waiting in their queue. Far Cry 6 is available for purchase on Stadia, as well as streamable on Geforce Now if you buy it on the Ubisoft PC client and have an active subscription to Geforce Now, where you know you can stand queues and a 1-hour play limit. A subscription to Ubisoft Plus with cloud access will cost you about $20 at the time of making this video. That gives you access to their entire library on PC, including some classics like Anno 1404 and Heroes of Might and Magic 3, which should honestly run on even the oldest PCs. But also the latest and greatest like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Odyssey and Origins, Watch Dogs Legion, Immortal Phoenix Rising, and not only the centerpiece of this video, Far Cry 6, but also all the previous hits. And you'll be given access to the Ultimate Editions of all of these, and even the new games on day one. And apart from PC access, an active subscription to Ubisoft Plus also lets you play on Stadia, Geforce Now, and Amazon Luna. Anyway, any parent with a gaming interest could definitely do worse than Far Cry 6. So if you only have one more game to get this year, I think it might just be what the doctor prescribed. If you came here for the gaming content or the parental angle, or if autoplay just got you here and you forgot to turn it off, well, thank you, and subscribe to the channel for more content for parents who game, parents of gamers, and some general gaming content in between. Hit the notification bell and hopefully you'll be notified when I upload or stream. And lastly, like the video and comment with your opinions in the comment section below, as doing so helps the channel. See you around.